Heat and Evie today. We just did. What do you want to call that workout?
I don't even know what the hell I call it. Swings and rolls.
Swings and rolls type
I
of
don't even
swings
know.
and rolls type of Sunday workout.
Yep.
Swings and rolls on a Sunday. Yeah, it was good. 20 minutes, swinging and rolling exactly. And yeah, we can go ahead and talk about it. Go ahead and lay out the structure about it.
Yeah. So typically, and I've just done this for to maintain some semblance of athleticism for myself over probably more so over the past probably 3-4 years. But we talk about the base athletic skills, and I always say this, and we'll probably cut a different video or podcast on this. But to me, the big three for athletic development, especially when you're early, have nothing to do with stick and ball sports.
No.
It would be number one, gymnastics. Even if you don't compete, I'm not saying compete at these sports. I'm saying learn skills from them. Okay, there's a totally different thing because upper level gymnastics can get pretty freaking
Crazy.
well, the attrition rate is just nuts, especially as you improve. Uh, but anyways, floor based stuff there would be great, right? So anytime you can learn how to take a fall, how to tumble your way out of it.
And it's something that's not trained a lot.
Something that's not trained basically ever in athletic development anymore. For a lot of reasons, we know now the benefits have to do with the vestibular system. Back then, it was just when I know Al Vermeil's a proponent of it, as well as just basic, in PE, it was always there, way back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, probably before that as well. But it was just basic athleticism, how to kinesthetic awareness to the utmost, right? Because you're spinning, you're rolling, your head's going over, heels are going over your head or whatever. But you look at most sports, any type of contact sport, it's kind of chaotic in nature. You get knocked over if you can tumble your way out of it. And we just talked about, the conditioning effect from it. The first couple tumbles, we were dizzy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, oh shit, trying to get you completely disoriented. Well, if you can find a way to not get disoriented after a tumble, then most time, in sport, if you get disoriented after a tumble, you can't find your place again. Well, you're just, disoriented yourself out of the play.
Yep.
But anyways, going back, the second one would be like wrestling, combat sports. One, so
yes.
Any type of one, it takes discipline. Or you can batch other martial arts in there, but it takes discipline, body movement, again, kinesthetic awareness. But now you're going against an opponent of like body weight, so you're learning how to deal with body pressure. Also learning how to deal with pain. And to me, the pain in that, it's just it's accepted, right? Someone's going to dig into you. Uh, you're on your back. You're trying to struggle your way out of stuff. So you learn how to fight your way out of stuff. Get yourself out of hairy, positions.
Definitely a different type of strength.
Yeah, different type of, probably more applicable to obviously most applicable to contact sports. So football being one, rugby being two, even soccer. Like if you can, these women soccer players that are wrestlers can probably hold their own out there and not get battled out by a defender no matter what their size. And then the next one, the third one, I'd say this, having the skill. And again, you don't have to do it as a sport per se, but swimming, right? You're looking at the cardiovascular development, the rhythm, the coordination, the timing, and then doing that in a hypoxic environment because you're holding your breath under the water.
Yeah.
Hopefully you hold your water too and you don't burst. But anyways, swimming would build that dexterity too in the upper body and the shoulders.
Yeah.
And just
motion.
Yeah, and also when we look at water, and this is one of the biggest things that I try to get across to people of why strength conditioning, weight room stuff is so important for the swimmer, is because when they're swimming year round, twice a day, they're effectively in water. They're floating. So what happens when you're floating? Well, what other type of, I don't want to say like athletes, but entire line of work that you're floating for work? Astronauts. Okay, you ever see an astronaut come down from space and they can't even hold their body up? Well, it's because when they're not in gravity, their body's not used to harnessing, having to work against gravity. So when all you're doing is swimming, and that's the crux of your days, what happens is we have a lot of, and it happens more so probably with the undersized swimmer, probably more so, and also more predominantly in the females, that they get lax jointed, and then they go into it happens every time. There's kids that go to physical therapists or orthos, and the orthos say they got bilateral instability of their shoulders, which fancy word for it means you're just lax jointed and you're freaking weak, people. All right, so getting back to the point of why the weight room is so important, because now you build that, you kind of learn to compress again, right? So when you're decompressing the water, you learn to compress again, because last I checked, we're not fish. We're not meant to thrive in water. We're meant to thrive on the ground. So which means you are at more risk for everyday stupid stuff happening to you if you do not have to, if you don't know how to deal with gravity. If you look at any young swimmers, their postures are kind of like sway back, shoulders are rounded forward, um, and some of them these days can't do pull-ups. And to me, it's like, well, it's like not being able to I don't want to say lift a big weight if you're a sprinter, but you know, trap bar deadlift, squat, whatever, or deal with a certain percentage of your, let's just say certain percentage of your body weight in a barbell lift for your lower body is to a sprinter what a pull up is to me what a pull up is to a swimmer. Because if you can't do a pull up, how the hell can you pull yourself across that water?
Yeah.
Unless you're really, you know, if you're underweight, you can get away with it for so long, but then once you start going faster, you get chopped up. If you're a little bit, you know, heavier swimmer, um, again, it's pound for pound strength in that upper body. If you can't pull your upper body, and one, you're going to be limited how fast you can go. Two, is how much, you know, once your body's overloaded and you're not strong enough because you're too tired, too fatigued, then there's where the injuries come, and then the technique goes to hell, and then it's really a double whammy. So those big three things are something you want to keep in there as a developmental athlete, but also to some extent throughout your whole life. And that's what this kind, for me, this is what this, you know, I can, you know, with my shoulder the way it is, other injuries, you know, this is what I can do. So it was essentially a version of medleys, um, taking that warm up idea of medleys that I usually do and just extending it into a workout, which you're going to do we did single arm kettlebell snatches on one end, we tumbled to the other. I think three, for me, it was shoulder rolls, for you, it was somersaults.
Yeah.
You can use any type of tumbling drill. You can do cartwheels.
I was about to say
You can do round offs. You can do whatever. Any type of thing like that. If you can do it, do it.
Yeah.
Throw it in a workout. But again, it's in a micro dose. I'm not tumbling across a whole football field
No,
or whatever.
right,
It's
right.
three. Get up, rest. On the other end, what do we do there? The Bulgarian bag. I did the windmills. Evie
Yeah.
doesn't have the skill set for the windmills yet, so she just did
The
kind of
Reapers,
like
did you call them?
Grim Reapers.
Grim
Yeah, that's
Reapers.
what Donnie Thompson calls it with his tempering roller. Those are badass for that transverse, that torso strength, but
Yeah, it was
also
tough to
you're
just
connecting
control that bag.
yeah, your feet are into the ground. Like you have to be strong with your feet with that. But we just kind of kept that going. Typically, I would put that on the minute, so I would do one of those exercises every minute with. I would do a kettlebell snatch on one arm on one side and then the other, and then bag and jump rope also. Would normally go in that, but I haven't done this since, my God, we moved here probably since the end of last year. So it's been a while for me. So I didn't want to like kill myself. And we were tumbling on grass, which typically I use a mat, but it wasn't bad on grass
No,
today.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the
But
little
yeah,
grounding aspect.
that was it. We went back and forth for what, 6 total rounds. So 3
6 rounds, yep.
snatches on each arm essentially, and 6 sets of the windmill and reaper things, and then all in all, let's see, 3 6 per trip, so 36 tumbles.
Yeah.
So if you add up that, you know, within about 20 minutes, it's a pretty good little Sunday workout.
Yeah.
You know, and
Low intensity.
yeah, yeah.
Feel good.
I mean, low intensity in terms of, I don't want to say like low intensity because it was like
CNS demand, I
lightweight,
mean.
but well, but it could potentially be like if you're unfamiliar with the movements, that
Oh, yeah.
CNS demand can be high, right?
Right.
It's like, oh shit. So by low intensity, what Evie really means is the philosophy of Dan John, the bus bench for the park bench workouts. We really had no expectations today, only to kind of have fun. So when things are fun, they don't register as stressful or as stressful, I think. So that's why
Yeah, I agree.
when a lot of, you hear this a lot with sports, right? Coaches, you know, when there's a player in a slump or they're overthinking or whatever, what is the first thing they tell them? Go have fun, right? Have fun again. And when it's not fun, you put a lot of undue stress on yourself. So um, yeah,
Definitely.
and it's that's always tough. Like, how do you do that as an athlete? How you do that as a coach? It's
Coach,
like,
yeah.
how do you to me, all of the stuff we're doing, because you got to look at it like Mladen Jovanovic says, right? You're either pushing the ceiling or you're pulling the floor. Um, in this case, this was kind of like a pulling the floor in a way. Um, and our floor is, you know, base level athleticism. What can we do just to kind of stimulate that or just work that a little bit? And we did it today. So
Yeah.
it was a bunch of stuff we don't normally, there was no numbers to go after today, no sprints to try to hit, no drop off techniques or
Just
drop
have
off
fun.
auto
Yeah.
regulation. It was just kind of like, how many do you want to do? I don't know, typically 10. We'll see how it goes. I did 6, felt good, done.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I always like to do some tumbling stuff. Just makes me feel good, feel athletic.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole concept behind it. You feel athletic. And noticing athletes when they first do it, it's so crazy. And then once they finally grasp it, and then they're just rolling around, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just so fun. And ever since I started incorporating it into my training, different athlete, just feel good. Like even like
Mm-hmm.
on the dive and roll up right back up.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Wow.
quick to that. I ran into a fence the other day, and I ran into the fence, fell back, and rolled back up right away. Honestly,
That
I
had to be
did.
that, man. They should have got that on video.
No, I know. I wish we had practice tape. Like that'd be so. Everyone was dying, but I bet you if anybody else, I even told them I was like, if anybody else would have done that, they probably would have broke every bone in their body.
Could be, yeah. I mean, and think about that, right?
Yeah.
So like you're doing that in fall ball. What if someone else did that? Now they're out for
No,
however long.
literally, yeah. And I was just out for
That
a
would
second.
suck. That would suck. You
Yeah.
being a senior returning starter.
Yeah.
But the word that just popped into mind is you're building intangible athleticism, right?
Intangible.
It's something
yeah.
that you
I
can't
like
really
that.
measure per se with machines and shit, but you can see it, right? That's why I think these tumbling things are so important. And
Yeah.
I have workout sets that include this in there, and I believe it or not, I would do this with the swimmers, and for them it was like, well, why the hell are we tumbling? It's like, well, what the fuck do you do when you do a flip turn? You tumble in the water, you hit, and you come out. So you're gonna, if you don't have the rhythm and skill set to do that.
Yeah, there is a rhythm aspect to it as well. But yeah,
Swap.
yeah, it just makes you feel good. Like I feel good. I had 2 games yesterday. Not, I just got a bunch of homework and stuff to do today, but it's a good little wake up, on the Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like it's a nice day out.
The grounding
Sun's
and the
out,
sun.
right?
Yeah.
There's a little we're right by this little pond here at MPG Fitness.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Got a good little walking trail and just kind of enjoyed the outdoors with it. But
yeah.
all we needed was a kettlebell. We used a Bulgarian bag. And that's it. Our bodies on the floor, or bodies in grass.
In grass, yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, it's fun as long as the weather's good. We can take it outside. You can do this inside as well. Obviously, your wrestling coaches are familiar with this, gymnastics coaches. But if you want to incorporate this into your strength conditioning sets, you can do that as well. And I have a manual that's dedicated to a portion of it that'll be coming out. It'll be dedicated to how you can fit this in your weight room sets with beast circuits.
Yeah. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else? No.
That's pretty much it. That's
yeah. Cool.
pretty to the point.
All right. Work hard always.
Rant hard always.